The NBA Conference Finals start tonight. As I'm recording this, the Minnesota Timberwolves and Oklahoma City Thunder play tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's actually kind of crazy to me that Oklahoma's already back on the floor again, because I feel like the Knicks and the Pacers haven't played for like a week. It's been close to a week. The Timberwolves have been off for a while too, but I guess that's what happened if you're OKC and you let Denver Nuggets take the series to 7. You don't get as much time off as whatever, but I am super excited. I know I did a video talking about the Game 7 of the Denver Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I kind of gave my prediction of the Thunder in 7 in that video, but I kind of wanted to say, like, hey, listen, tonight's the night. I want to talk about the series a little bit more, and tomorrow we're going to have Game 1 of the Pacers-Knicks, so expect a video of previewing Game 1 of the Conference Finals of that tomorrow. I'm super excited. I don't think many people expected the Minnesota Timberwolves to be here at this point in time. I'm sure their fans did to a degree, because you're always going to believe in your team. But, like, they make it to the Conference Finals last year, then they trade away Karl-Anthony Towns for Julius Randle and Donte DiVincenzo, and a lot of people were like, what the hell are you doing? And some people are still upset by the trade, because it's still just, maybe some people just aren't able to wrap their heads around it. But honestly, like I said in the video yesterday, or Sunday, actually, the video was, is it's working out for both sides. Both Julius Randle and Karl-Anthony Towns are doing wonders for their new team. So I think at this point in time, both fan bases are pretty satisfied with what they're getting. Now, to go into the conference finals, we have Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren. That's your big three matchup. You know what I mean? And it was funny Rudy Gobert's next. I know offensively he sucks, but hey, respect the defense of Rudy Gobert and respect the playoff run that Julius Randle is giving us right now. I had OKC in 7, and that's gonna be my prediction. I'm not one of those people that like switches up my predictions. I'm always open to being like, hey, like, if the Timberwolves go up 3-1 in this series, I'll be like, hey, like, hats off. You know what I mean? But, like, my prediction is going to be OKC in 7. If it doesn't come true, it doesn't come true. It's fine. It's totally fine. I'm really excited for this, though. I feel like I've said that multiple times. I'm just trying to get a lot of words out here. You're getting kind of like I don't want to say heliocentric superstar, but like a guy that demands the ball. Two guys, one on either team, that demand to have the ball in their hands a lot with Anthony Edwards and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Two guys that, like, their offense runs through. Now, you've seen Jalen Williams have some good games this playoff series. You've seen him have some pretty bad games. Julius Randle's been pretty consistently good this playoff run as well. They have their, like, second option guy that they can rely on from time to time again, but the offense of the Timberwolves runs through Anthony Edwards. The offense of the Thunder runs through Shai. It's basically going to come down to who is the better defense, because both these teams are very good defensively. I don't have the stats here about which one of them ranked in the entire season, but I know they were both really good defenses the entire season, because you look at the Minnesota Timberwolves. You have Anthony Edwards, who is a still pretty good, a very good effort, and still a good defender. Mike Conley's older at this point in time, but he holds his own sometimes. Jaden McDaniels, one of the best perimeter defenders in the entire NBA. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, really good perimeter defender. Julius Randle is a big body, strong defender. And Rudy Gobert has been one of the best defenders of this entire generation. They have a stout lineup of great defenders. But then you look at the other side of the Oklahoma City Thunder. You have Shai, who, again, people, they pick on Shai because he's the weakest defender on the court for the Thunder, but he's still a good defender. This guy is, as great of an offensive player he's a good defensive player. Then you look at, you have Lou Dort will be out there. You have Jalen Williams who can be out there. You have Chet Holmgren. You have Isaiah Hartenstein. You can have Cason Wallace come in. Like, the Thunder as well have so many good switchable big body defenders. So I think this is going to be a lower scoring series. And I do genuinely think this series is going to come down to who's going to outplay each other. Is Anthony Edwards going to outplay Shai? Is Shai going to outplay Anthony Edwards? And if you look at it that way, you're probably looking at the Thunder winning. But again, these second options and the role players are always super huge in this series too. I think it's going to be a bit dialed back this series, because I think the defense, you know, maybe now that I think about it in real time, maybe the role players are going to be more on offense because the defenses are going to be so locked on to Shai and Anthony Edwards. Maybe this series, and it's going to sound crazy to say, it's going to sound crazy. Maybe this series comes down to a Julius Randle versus Jalen Williams matchup. And I know I know it sounds crazy. Trust me, as I'm saying it, I'm laughing. But I truly think both of these teams are going to send so much defensive attention at the other guy's number one option that it's going to fall to their number two option to be, like, consistently good enough to help carry through the rest of the team. Obviously, I know Chet's not been the greatest offensive player next to Isaiah Hartenstein. Rudy Gobert obviously is not a great offense player as well. So I do think it's genuinely going to come down to whose second option is better and who other defensive role players can hit their open shots. I feel like I haven't said it too much, and I've said it on Twitter sometimes, and I've gotten the conversation with people that maybe don't believe the same thing I do, and I want to make it clear here. And I actually do think I said on a video the other day when I was talking about this team, I'm not super bought in to Jalen Williams being the number 2 star for this Oklahoma City team right now. And I say that with no disrespect, and it's no like, what I say about Jalen Williams isn't final. He's 24 years old. Nothing I say against him is the final like thought on him and how I feel about him forever. You know what I mean? But he's an inconsistent scorer. And we saw like he had a huge stinker in game 6 when they could have closed out that series in 6, but he then pushed 7 because he was really, really bad. Julius Randle, again, never been a great playoff performer until this playoff run. So it's like, do you trust Julius Randle getting hot this playoff run? Or do you trust a guy in Jalen Williams that can get super, super hot and look really, really good, or can have some really, really rough games? And again, like I said, I do think in a couple years, given more playoff runs, I do think Jalen Williams can fully form himself into being the clear-cut second best option on his Oklahoma City Thunder team. And so I don't want any Thunder fans coming at me like, oh, you don't understand how good he is. No, truly, I do like Jalen Williams, and I think he's a good player. But I don't know if you're trying to win a championship this year, if he's a good enough second option that you can rely on game in and game out when these defenders are throwing their best players at Shai, he can take you home. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm trying to explain myself in a way that makes it very clear that I'm not trying to shit on Jalen. Maybe, you know what? I'm not trying to shit on him. If you take it that way, then I'm sorry. I'm not going to be super accommodating because I feel like common sense will say that I'm not trying to shit on him. I'm just giving a rational, unbiased take, I feel like. Anyway, we got through all that. I'm super curious to see how this is going to work between the defensive matchups. I think they went 2-2 against each other in regular season, but I know each team had some players missing in each one of the games. So, and then plus, we've seen you can't really take the regular season super seriously once it comes playoff time. I mean, the Knicks didn't beat anybody good in the entire regular season, and now in the conference finals. So, you know what I mean? You can't take it super seriously. The Thunder are a pretty good clutch time team, and the Anthony Edwards is a good crunch time player. Not huge fans, like Rudy Gobert gets pulled off the court. So I think if it comes down nitty gritty, I do still like the Thunder in this series because I know they don't have Jalen Brunson level of a guy, but Shai's a great clutch time player. J-Dub, I feel like, has his big moments in the clutch time as well. I think, honestly, the biggest key, I want to give a biggest key for each team in this playoff series. I think it's easier for the Minnesota Timberwolves to look at it and say, hey, the biggest key is turnovers. This Minnesota Timberwolves team can turn the ball over a lot, and I think in 1 or 2 of the games they played earlier this regular season, they turned the ball over like 20 plus times, and it was one of the bigger reasons they lost. Like, this Minnesota Timberwolves team, as good as they are very, very prone to turning the ball over, and the Oklahoma City Thunder are a team that can feast and can run in transition, and they're gonna capitalize off of the turnovers. Now, for the Thunder side, I think their key factor, truly, I do think, is going to be the size of the Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert front court. Are they going to be able to get to the basket against those two guys? Because as we know how great Shai is, and we know he's going to do what he can to get to the free throw line to get his points, and that's not a shot. That's just, honestly, God, the truth. Are they going to be able to get to the paint? Or the Timberwolves defense going to force the Thunder to take heavy jump shots? And when you force a team to go jump shot heavy, that can lead to bad shooting nights. If they're hitting, there's not much you can do. But if you can force this team to take a lot of long 2s and 3s, all you need is a couple games where they are not hitting their shots. You look at the Boston Celtics in the other series where the Knicks were doing whatever they could to force them to take jump shots. And I mean, the Celtics are a jump shot heavy team in the first place, but when they're not falling, it makes the team look not as good. The Minnesota Timberwolves have to do whatever they can to pack the paint on defense, not let Shai get to the paint, not let J-Dub get to the paint, not let Holmgren, not let Isaiah Hartenstein, none of those guys get to the paint. And they're like, listen, if Lou Dort hits 5 threes and we lose, it is what it is. But we're not going to let you get the easy 2s. I truly hope this series goes 7, and there's not really much I can say about it right now. I'm going to make videos throughout the series, obviously. That's just what I do. So once we get a few games in, I'll be able to come back and give more takes about how things are going. But I just wanted to kind of give a key factor for each team and just be like, hey, I think this is going to be a great series. I'm really, really excited the fact that either Shai, Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, or Tyrese Halliburton are getting their first ring. It's a 7th season in a row where we're not having repeat champions, which I'm a big fan of. I love parity in the NBA. It was fun for a while, seeing the matchups of LeBron and Cleveland versus the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry. It made for cool clashes of the Titans. It was unfortunate the way that the Warriors seemingly always kept they had the big 3-1 comeback for the Cavs, obviously, but it was like, going into the regular season, you're like, hey, it's going to be a Cavs-Warriors finals, and the Warriors are probably going to win. Like, it's cool having that team, like the Warriors were, that are just so much better than everybody else. It's like, hey, we're all striving to beat them. But I do think it's fun that it's like, you can now, the past couple years, cannot guarantee a team going back to the NBA Finals. Like, as great as the Boston Celtics were, like, we'll take it back even to the point of, like, the Lakers in 2020 were so good. Go back one more year. I'm sorry, I'm going back. We're going to go back one more year. Toronto Raptors with Kawhi Leonard have a crazy run, win a championship. He leaves the team. They're not as good the next year. 2020, the bubble Lakers win a championship. They deal with injuries the next season. They don't make it back. 2021, Milwaukee Bucks. Drew Holiday ends up going. People end up getting traded. They aren't able to make a run. Giannis is not healthy throughout the playoffs. In the next couple years, Giannis is just not healthy in the playoffs. 2022 was the Golden State Warriors. Blink for a second. I bet you saw that. Was the Golden State Warriors kind of like their revenge finals run? You know what I mean? They had a fantastic playoff run from a guy like Andrew Wiggins. Weren't really able to replicate that because he wasn't very good the next year or two. Weren't able to make it back. 2023, the Denver Nuggets, they lose key pieces of their starting lineup, of their bench, and they're just not a strong enough starting lineup anymore to make it. 2024, Boston Celtics, looking like one of the best teams we've ever seen in this entire NBA. They deal with a few injuries going into the playoffs with Jaylen Brown's knee, Kristaps Porzingis' health issues, and they get so jump shot dependent that when they're not hitting, they're not god awful, but they're not as good of a team. Every year, you look at a team like, man, that's such a good team, and then something happens the following year where they do not make it back, even past the second round, not even less the finals. So I'm really excited to see one of these players is going to get their first ring, and then I'm excited for next season, like, hey, like, what team is now going to jump out? Like, if it's the Thunder don't win this year, I feel like the Thunder has to be the team next year. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm kind of just rambling at this point in time, but I appreciate, I'm glad you guys watched. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. On the road to 1,000 subscribers, and give me the prediction in the comments. OKC in 7, Wolves in 7. Maybe you want to say Wolves in 5, OKC in 4. Don't matter. I'm going with OKC in 7.